All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to this podcast. This is a continuing series where we talk to people from all over the world about learning English, what it's like to learn English in their country. Today, we're going to Brazil by way of my guest, who is Brazilian, living outside of Brazil, but she studied English in Brazil, grew up in Brazil, and we'll meet her in just a second. Before we start, everybody, please subscribe to this channel by clicking, of course, the subscribe button, but also the next step is very important. Please also click the bell and select all. By clicking the bell and selecting all, you'll for sure be shown new videos that we upload. Even if you're a subscriber, if you don't click the bell and select all, YouTube will not show you future videos we upload. Why do they do that? I have no idea. But the way to be sure is to click the bell, select all. And also, please support this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started and let's say hello to our guest. Stephanie, how are you?
Hi, Ben. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome. It's so nice to have you. So introduce yourself, Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie. I'm from Brazil. I've been living abroad for like 2 years and a half now, I guess. And I'm a doctor. I came abroad because I'd like to experience my profession in another country. And so I decided to revalidate my degree here in the UK. And that's it.
Okay, great. And congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, okay, so let's talk about English and English learning in Brazil. My first question is English important in Brazil? Do Brazilians care about English? Does it matter to them?
Ben, to be really honest, it matters to a certain extent because we don't actually need English there in Brazil because we speak a different language. And if someone doesn't speak English at all in Brazil, it'll be okay. They are that person is able to live and to work there. But if you have English, you have something
Hmm.
more to give. And it's a good thing as well because it's an international language. So you can communicate with other people. And in some professions as well, for example, uh, in medical profession,
Hmm.
it's good for you to have English because most of the research and articles they are released in English first. So if you're able to talk, to read, and to listen in English, you have access to those new research, everything new. You know,
So for the average person in Brazil, it's not necessary to know English, in other words.
no, it's not necessary at all.
Okay, okay. Would you say that the average person doesn't know English then? Your average person.
Mm, I guess so because English is a mandatory subject in school in
Okay.
Brazil.
Uh-huh.
So everyone learns English when they are around in the sixth grade, I
Uh-huh.
guess.
Uh-huh.
So it's mandatory. So I guess people, of course, they don't know like how to speak like native, and maybe they cannot have they cannot communicate well, but they can like some words or something like that, to
Mm.
understand something.
They know minimal, like maybe
Yes,
survival level
like
English.
beginner level. Yeah, not
Okay, so most
beginner
people will know
level.
a little bit like that.
And maybe it's okay, not everyone. Of course,
Okay.
people. I'm talking about people like let's say I don't even know if average, maybe less than that. People who go to private schools, they will understand some words, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure about public schools. I know that
Uh, 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 uh,
it's mandatory in them as well, but the I don't know if the teaching is good.
I
Probably.
see. So let's go backwards. Let's go back and think. Can we talk about the first time you encountered English? Do you remember like when was the first time you encountered English? Was it at school when you had to study it, or was it just like from watching an American TV show or movie or something? Do you remember?
The first time I had contact with English, it was at home.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, she knows English. My mother, she knows as well. My mother used to be an English teacher when she was a teenager before going to university.
Oh.
So my mother does, she knows English, my sister as well. So when I was a child, my sister was always like listening to music, like American songs,
Mm-hmm.
and watching some series and movies. So even before learning in school, I had some contact with English because of that.
Okay, so it was through media. And did you find it pleasurable? Like you also liked American music and American TV shows? This is before you even studied English.
Yes. You know,
Okay.
it was before. I'm trying to remember here. That's the reason I'm like, it was before I went,
Hmm.
because I started learning English in school. I was in my fourth grade.
Yeah.
It was the first time. I was around 8, but before that, I had English. Oh, I had contact with English, like with songs and TV shows. I remember my sister. She loved like Spice Girls,
Mm-hmm.
and she loved other like Backstreet Boys. So we were
Mm.
always listening to those bands.
Okay. So when do Brazilian kids first learn English? What grade?
It's mandatory from the sixth grade.
Uh-huh.
But some schools start early. Mine started. I was on the fourth grade when I
Uh,
started, but it's around that age, 8 to 10 years old.
okay. And how many years do you have to study English throughout high school or
Yes, until high school.
till the end of high school?
Yeah,
Okay. And when
in the exams to get into university in
Mhm,
Brazil, we
mhm,
have to we have like English test, an English subject. Some schools they have the option for you to you have to study like in high school you have to
mhm.
study an international language. So some people choose to study Spanish instead
Mhm.
of English, but this is in high school that you can have this option, and it's not in all schools that you have that. Only few schools you are able to choose between English and Spanish. But in for the exams to university, you can choose between English or Spanish to do the international language exam.
Oh, I see. For your college entrance exams, you can either take them in English or in Portuguese?
One of the subjects of the test, yes, you can choose between English subject or Spanish subject.
Oh, as a foreign
The test,
language.
the exam will be in Portuguese.
I see.
Okay,
But there's
but
a section.
yeah, that's a section of the exam. You can choose to do the English test or the Spanish test, because you have to do an international language as a section of the exam, as part of the exam.
Okay, okay. So would you say most Brazilian kids choose to learn English or Spanish?
Mm, I I would say that they prefer Spanish
Mm-hmm.
because it's similar to Portuguese.
Yes.
It's kind of easier, let's say.
Uh-huh. So If you were to learn Spanish instead of English, is Spanish more spoken or more useful in in Brazil as opposed to English? Between the two languages, which is more practical, Spanish or English in Brazil?
If you ask about like for qualification, I would say English, but people tends to do Spanish more because I think it's because it's easier, to get marks on exams, and because it's similar,
Mm-hmm.
more similar to Brazil as well.
Right.
But and also because in South America we are the only country which doesn't speak Spanish. Every other country that speaks Spanish, so maybe that's the reason as well that Brazilians tends to go to Spanish language.
That makes
Because
sense.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do Brazilian kids, uh, do the Brazilian kids think English is cool? Do they actually like it, or is it just something they feel like they have to study?
some of them like, but the other part they just learn English because they have to.
Okay. What about you? Did you like learning English, or just you had to?
No, I did. I liked learning English. I like English. Even when I chose a place to move, I chose an English speaking country to come. So I always liked English. I never chose studying Spanish or any other language.
So, if you were to go to the theater, in Brazil and you watched an American movie, would it be dubbed over in Portuguese, or would you be able to see the movie with the original sound, with the original audio in English?
Both. We
Oh.
have both movies and we
Hmm.
have subtitle versions as well. So we
Hmm.
have both these in cinema there in Brazil.
Okay. What about on TV? When they showed American movies on TV, you're watching at home. Is that going to be dubbed over, or would it be in English but with subtitles?
If it's a broadcast TV,
Uh-huh.
it'll be dubbed.
Okay. Okay.
But if you have a pay TV, you have the option. You can watch even dubbed or with subtitles. But
Hmm.
for example, if you have like Sky, some example of
Hmm.
pay TV, we most of the channels they put like subtitles in the movies in the series. But if it is a broadcast TV,
Yeah.
they they don't have subtitles. So
It's dubbed. Do
yeah,
Brazilians typically prefer to watch American shows dubbed, or just with subtitles but original audio?
I guess it depends on each person. For if they have pay TV where they can watch
Hmm.
movies with subtitle, and also depends on the age, because I
Hmm.
remember me when I was younger, when I was a child, I preferred to watch dubbed versions of the movies because I I don't know, I think it's because I was younger, but I couldn't like watch the movie and read at the same time. It was
Oh,
difficult for
okay.
me to do that
Yeah.
when I was a child, but after getting older, I started watching with subtitles. But I really think it depends because for people with there are a lot of people, illiterate people there in Brazil, so it will be difficult to watch
Okay.
movie or something in TV with subtitles. I think be one of the reasons that in broadcast TV it's dubbed. Um, I don't know, like I don't know if it is one of the reasons.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Um, okay, so now you're a physician. When you went to medical school, did you do your medical studies in Portuguese or English?
In Portuguese.
Is there an option to do it in English?
No, we don't have,
No.
as far as I know, we don't have any university there in Brazil that teaches in English.
Okay.
We have
What a,
we have subjects in English that you can learn,
mhm.
but the whole university, they no. As I told you, we do not need English there.
Okay. Okay. What about like medical terminology? Are they in English?
No,
No, you guys use Portuguese. Okay.
yeah, they are translated. There are some, but it's not that different.
Okay, because the root
Mm,
words are Latin, right?
Yeah, it's not that different. For example, if someone that doesn't speak English that well and they're going to read a medical article in English, I think if it is a medical student, or they can catch like some keywords and understand the basic, you know,
Yeah.
because the words, the medical terminology is not that different. There are many words that we can say, oh, it seemed like Portuguese.
Okay. So when you were doing your recertification and those exams, was it difficult, more difficult because it was in English, or it didn't matter, it was same?
When I was doing this process to revalidate, you
Yeah,
mean?
revalidate. Yes. Uh-huh.
Um, then yeah, it's more difficult because it's another language. I learned in medical school in Portuguese, and I'm saying there are some words that
Mhm.
are similar, but all of them. Ben,
Yes.
can we pause?
Yes,
No,
we can.
sorry, there's someone knocking here on my door. I have
Oh, okay. Go
delivery.
ahead. I'll reset real quick
Okay.
while you do that. Okay, so everybody, you are listening to a podcast where we're talking. It's a continuing series where we talk to people from all over the world about what it's like to learn English in their country. We've spoken to people from several different countries. Today, we're learning about English learning in Brazil. If you're enjoying the podcast, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the video out. So please give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to subscribe. So please click the subscribe button and also click the bell and select all. It's very important to do that. Please click the bell and select all. And that way, YouTube will show you future videos that we upload. It's a real strange thing, but YouTube will not show you future videos unless you select all. Click the bell, select all, and that way you'll see future videos on your homepage, on your feed, and yeah, then you're set. So subscribe, click the bell, select all. Okay, Stephanie, are you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
No worries. So it was a little bit harder to do your exams in English, but you were able to figure it out because medical terminologies are similar in between Portuguese and English.
Not only because of that, because
Mhm.
before doing the exam, the medical exams, we have to do a English exam.
Okay.
And you have a minimal score that you
Mhm.
have to achieve to be able to move to the next step, which will be a
Okay.
theoretical medical exam.
Is it the IELTS exam or something like that?
Yeah, it can be IELTS, and
Uh-huh.
it can be another one that is called OET,
Uh-huh.
Occupational English Test. It's for healthcare professionals. So
Okay.
medical, um, dentists, physiotherapists.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's only for nurse as well. It's only for healthcare professionals. This OET, but we can do IELTS as well.
Which one did you opt for?
I did both of them. I did
Oh, wow.
yeah, I did IELTS, but in IELTS exam I have to get 7.5,
Mm-hmm.
and I got 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, no, let me try OET to
Uh-huh.
see if you'll be better, and if not, I'm gonna start study for IELTS again. Then I did the OET and I got this score. It was good.
Oh, okay. So you just need one qualifying score, and you got it for doing OBT, and that's it.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you, those exams, those English exams?
Uh, the IELTS exam for me it was harder.
Uh-huh.
The writing part,
Uh-huh.
because it was even one of the parts that I didn't get the score that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And the OET, it was easier,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, not, oh, it's much more easy. No, it was a bit easier because it's medical terminologies. So there are things that it's better to understand,
Mm-hmm.
but the listening part of the OET, it's harder than the IELTS.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh.
when in my exam, it was the the woman that was there in the
Mm-hmm.
exam with us. She was started talking with the others and murmuring while we were doing the exam. It was awful. But anyway,
Oh, you know what? Those English exams, they are hard because a while back I had a friend. He sent me one of these English exams. He's like, "Give it a try, take it, see what happens." And I'm like, "Okay, why not?" I couldn't even get a C2. I only got a C1 on one of these exams, and I don't remember what it was. I mean, they were hard. I looked it up like, Jesus, even I have to think about it. I mean, how are you guys able to do this? So yeah, those English exams are annoying.
yes, they are. And the thing is, I don't think they actually say if you are, for example, you didn't have like a C2, you got a C1.
I know
So
I'm native and I couldn't even get a C2. I'm like, what the hell?
yeah, so the thing is, you have to know how to do the exam. You don't
Yeah,
have actually to know English or to know the language, but you
yeah,
have to understand what the exams is asking for you,
yeah. Hmm.
of you.
Speaking of exams, so going back to learning English in Brazil as a kid, were were Brazilian kids, including yourself, were you guys learning English to be able to take an exam, or were you guys learning English for the love of it because you felt like you could use it in a very practical way? Like, what was the because a lot of English curriculum, or English language curriculum, is very much geared toward passing a test as opposed to real life usage of the language. What was it like for you guys learning English as kids?
I guess for the most of kids there in Brazil, they learn because they have to pass the
The
test.
test. Uh-huh. Okay.
I don't know, because it's a subject in school, so we have to do a test of it and we have to pass.
Yeah.
I really think there are people who really like and really enjoy learning English. I liked learn English. I enjoyed, and I think it was something useful for me.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, let me ask you this. Do you guys have any opportunity to speak? Because, like, for example, if you don't really encounter natives, or if you don't really speak the language that you're learning, then you don't see the practical aspects of it. And so when you don't see the practical aspect of it, then I guess you rightly focus on just passing the exam, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the challenges of learning English there in Brazil, because, as I told you, we don't actually need English there. So people, you don't have with whom to practice, you know?
Yeah.
So you will learn in school, and even in school, we only learn to do an exam. We
Mm-hmm.
don't talk in English in school. We don't like do seminars, present seminars, or any kind of presentations. We don't do that. I don't. I might be wrong, but I don't remember doing
Mm-hmm.
any of
Okay.
those things in English in my school. I did because I had an English course, a private English course that. So in this one, we had like those kind of, we have to do seminars and presenting things
Mm-hmm.
and talk. One of the parts of the exam where it was a oral exam as well. We had
Mm-hmm.
in this course, in this private course, but in school we don't have this. It's only, you only learn to do the exam to pass.
Okay. I feel a bit like when it comes to foreign language exams, they're a bit worthless in terms of its relationship to how well you're able to speak and communicate, because it's a bit like you're baking a cake and I'm going to taste it. If it tastes good, you pass. If it tastes bad, it doesn't really matter how good you are at explaining what you did or the process. If it tastes bad, you don't pass. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, it's like that.
Yeah, and so I think that's the inherent problem or the inherent disconnect between uh, doing well on a language test versus being able to speak well, being able to communicate well, because plenty of people can pass a language test, but then when they go to a party in a social setting, nothing. They can say hello and that's it. They can't have a conversation. They freeze up, right? So that's not good.
Yes, and I think most of those cases, because people, they don't have who the practice, they don't
Yeah.
practice, they don't speak. So it's kind of difficult when you never speak English and you go to a place and start speaking it. You will not have words to say, or you cannot even think what you say, because many people, I think, they try to translate what they are thinking to English instead of thinking in English.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
I don't know. You are learning Italian, so I think you know what I mean when we say
Yes.
like that. So we have to learn how to think in that foreign language to be able to actually speak and communicate. Maybe.
It takes a lot of time. And it's so true because there are times when I'll try to translate something from English to Italian and I'll say it to my Italian friends. And they'll be like, "What the hell did you just say?" But in my head, it made total sense. But to them, they're like, "What the hell did you just what?" And but I think that we're now living in an age with where for example, I now use Google Translate less. I actually just use AI, right? Because I ask AI to, how do I say this in Italian in a native and natural way? That's always way better than what Google Translate gives me, because sometimes Google Translate doesn't translate well. So, arguably these days, you maybe don't even need to study a foreign language if you're not doing a lot of, face-to-face communication. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
could we say that? What do you
Mhm.
think?
Yes, I agree with no with these new technologies, the artificial intelligence and
Hmm.
everything. You don't have to learn English. You just have
Yeah.
to put things there, and they will do all the work for you.
Short of face-to-face contact, you don't need it. In fact, whenever you write an email to anybody or whatever, and it's not your native language, and I do this with Italian, I'm not going to push send until I have AI just translate it or make sure. You know what I mean? And
Yes, man, until like a month ago,
uh-huh,
I've never used the AI before,
uh-huh.
and then I started using, and now I'm kind of addicted to it.
Me too. Me too.
I
Yes.
can't do anything with it.
I know. Now I can look back at, oh, I remember the days before AI. Life was terrible. It sucked.
Yes, I don't know what's going on now with me. I cannot do anything without the AI.
Well, because it helps us get it right. It helps us go from sounding like a child writing English to a professional writing English. It works. Everybody, you've got to use AI to check your writing, because the problem with writing is that you might get the words right, but the tone, the weight of the words, the word selection, just there's so many aspects to writing, that where the words may be right, the grammar may be right, but none of it sounds right. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. And so that's where AI can come in and help you make it sound correct. So yeah.
Yes. But we have to be careful because sometimes the test sounds so artificial.
Mm-hmm. It depends on, yeah, you know what, I would recommend you pay for the
Yes,
free
yes,
one might not
I
give you the
know.
one you want, but the paid one will get you very close.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Okay. So what else? Any closing remarks? You've given us a very good idea of what it's like to learn English in Brazil. Anything else? I feel like, as you're now living in the UK, you work in a profession where English is very important. I think your English is really going to skyrocket. It's already good, but do you feel like that? Like your English is really
Yes,
improved?
yes, I feel it improved a lot. And also when I was doing the that internship that I told
Hmm.
you about, I I felt like it improved as well.
Yeah.
And while I'm there, because in that internship I was like in a hospital,
Hmm.
and I was like observing the consultants, speaking and consulting the patients, and I was there experiencing everything in English, so it was really great. And a lot of, one of those things that I thought, oh my god, if you're not in an English environment like that, you will never think understand some kind of things. Because I remember one day a patient just said like, "Oh, I had a funny turn," and I said, ah, "See, if you're not here, if you do not experience that, and I'm the first time as a doctor consulting a patient, and they tell me, oh, I had a funny turn, I will never understand what is the
What did they say? I had a funny what?
funny turn,
I know, I don't get it.
a
What's the
fun
word?
funny turn,
Uh-huh. Funny term?
turn,
Turn.
yes,
Turn.
turn, yes.
What is that? Is that a British thing? What? I've never heard that. I had a
Is
funny
it
turn.
British?
I've never heard that before. I had a funny turn. What does that mean?
It means like they felt dizzy or lightheadedness when.
That's a British thing. I've never heard that.
Is it British? Oh,
Yeah, it
okay. I
must
didn't
be.
know it was British.
I had a funny turn. Yeah, no, I've never heard that. That's not American English.
Yeah. So see, this kind of thing. So this is an
Oh,
example as well. So you have even an American speaker doesn't know what means. So we have to experience those things to
that's true.
understand. Because if you and this is one of the expressions that I remember, but it has many others that I was like, what it means? What are they saying? And it's
Yeah.
good because in these exams that I did, it's called PLAB exam, the medical exams that we have to do to revalidate. They had those expressions that people usually say here.
Okay.
Describe something.
Colloquial or slang. Okay.
Yes. So it's good because if you are someone from another place,
You know.
another culture, and you come here and you hear someone saying that, you say, well, what is that? What are you saying?
Yeah, it just goes to show how language is so regional, and how most of the time we don't speak textbook English. We speak colloquial, what's local, what it's different. And so, yeah, so you're getting a taste of that. That's great.
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So, well, thank you very much, Stephanie. That was a very nice conversation. You've given us a great idea of your journey and also the typical journey of somebody in Brazil learning English. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. It was great. And it is always nice talking to you.
Yes, as well. A pleasure. And everybody, thank you for listening to the end. Please support this video. Give it a thumbs up. It really helps the video. And also please subscribe. Click that subscribe button and also make sure you click the bell. Very important next step. Click the bell and select all. And that way, YouTube will continue to show you our new videos on your homepage, on your feed. If you don't click the bell and select all, YouTube will not show you future videos. Why do they do that? I have no idea. But just to prevent that problem, click the bell and select all, and then you're set. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for joining. We look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. Bye-bye for now.